everybody, how's it going? And welcome to my review of The Invisible Man, a suspense thriller from writer-director Leigh Wannell. So this tells a story of a woman named Cecilia who is on the run from an abusive relationship, and when she's in hiding and trying to learn to readjust with the real world because it's really shattered her in a psychological way, she learns that her abusive partner has committed suicide. Or has he? Because not too long after that, some weird stuff starts happening to her, and she starts feeling the presence of somebody there, someone who is apparently out to get her, and she soon learns that things may not be what they seem. Now, I'm going to get into this review without any spoilers. Everything that I talk about you've seen in the trailers. It's going to be a little difficult because there are so many twists and turns to this film, but it's a movie that I wasn't initially on board with, mainly because this was meant to be part of Universal's Dark Universe, which kicked off with The Mummy with Tom Cruise, and we all know how that movie went. So initially it was going to be the follow-up to that, but then when that movie flopped and they had to go back to the drawing board, they basically just released this as a standalone film, possibly to reboot the Dark Universe, who knows. But because of all that, and because I really didn't like The Mummy, yeah, I was kind of take it or leave it at first. But then there was a press screening last week that I didn't get to go to, but the vibe from that was amazing. Like, the positive word people were putting out about this movie was incredible, and I really, really wanted to see it. And yeah, tonight I got a chance to see it, and oh my god, I'm so glad I did. This movie is phenomenal. So I wouldn't really say this was a horror movie. It's definitely more of a suspense thriller with a sci-fi twist. But in terms of things that they nailed in this movie, first and foremost, they gave us characters that we cared about, that we actually liked. So aside from the main protagonist, she moves in with these friends, this police officer and his daughter, and the three of them, the chemistry between them, everything just made you love these people and just really enjoy spending time with them on screen. Aside from that, this film uses sound in a perfect way. In terms of sound when it's there, it's used really well, but the absence of sound also plays a really big part in building the suspense in this film. And when it comes to the suspense in this thing, I'm not kidding, I nearly had a headache. My head was just pounding so much from the suspense, which is exactly what we want in a film like this. I mean, yeah, it had some jump scares, but they weren't stupid jump scares, and yeah, sometimes they were just even over the most stupid little thing, but they were still really effective. And yeah, I jumped several times in this film. And just the way that they build this whole aspect of the creepy invisible guy coming back into her life, just, you know, piece by piece, was masterfully done. You know, you just sort of, initially you see things that unfortunately the trailer spoiled a little bit here and there. There were some scenes I would have liked to have seen for the first time in the film, but it's not too bad. But yeah, they just sort of gradually put him in bit by bit, and yeah, so when it comes time for like the main action to happen in the third act, yeah, you're just really on board. And in terms of the visual effects in this film, they were absolutely first class. Everybody who worked on this film in the visual effects departments, whether you got a name in the credits or not, and I am talking about you, Joe Marie Coronel, yeah, everyone needs to be commended for what they did in this film, because the effects were absolutely fantastic. Everything was just completely believable in terms of the way that this invisible character was manipulating things. And the direction from Leigh Wannell was absolutely perfect as well. You know, the last film that we saw of his, Upgrade, was this really awesome, edgy action film that had all these like unique sort of characteristics to it, and he's brought a few of those over to this film. Things like when the camera follows people like as they're falling over and stuff like that. There's a little bit of that in this film, so yeah, it was kind of neat like seeing his trademark in here and there. But the performances he got out of these actors, especially Elisabeth Moss as the main character Cecilia, My freaking god, she was utterly brilliant. Being this broken character when she first escapes from this relationship, like, there was so much going on behind her eyes. Like, she became this person. You really believed that this character was going through this psychological crap in her life. And then throughout the film, and yeah, it's not really a spoiler, but you know, they play on that kind of cliche, I guess, in as much as there's things happening and it looks like she is the one who's doing it. And so, of course, you know, she gets in trouble a lot for all these things and you are just really behind her. You want everyone to believe her, but the way that they manipulate the scenarios, like, it really looks like she is doing these things. And that was also masterfully done because you kind of see both sides of the story. Like, yeah, you know, she's not the one who's committing these sort of awful things, but you kind of see it from the other point of view. It's like, yeah, it would be really hard to believe a person, you know, when she's trying to say, no, it's this other guy who's dead, but he's not. I thought the music score was fantastic. Cinematography was every bit as good as it needed to be. It wasn't quite perfect, though. There were just little tiny things, just little nitpicks here and there. And unfortunately, I can't really say what any of them were because they kind of go into spoiler territory. But yeah, but suffice to say, there were just little minor things that kind of had me questioning a few things in the film. But look, overall, this is an absolutely contemporary classic which you need to go and see. If you're a fan of great suspense films, like I said, it's not really a horror film. If you don't like horror films, you're probably going to be okay with this film. Yeah, it's not the sort of lingering dread that will follow you home and you kind of, you know, looking around the corner thinking, oh my god, what's there? It's not like that. This is a really clever film. The ending is absolutely brilliant. Didn't see it coming either. I really love what they did with the ending to this film. I'm definitely going to go see it again when it's out. I am easily going to be buying it on Blu-ray the day it comes out. And I'm going to give The Invisible Man a 9.5 out of 10. So I'm really happy that I was able to give this movie such a positive review. I really wanted to like this film, but to be honest, I actually liked it a lot more than I expected to. So yeah, look, if you guys have seen it, I'd love to know what you thought of it as well. What were some of your favorite scenes in the film? And yeah, and if you haven't seen it yet, please make sure you go check it out. So fire away, drop me some comments either here, Facebook or Twitter. All the social media links are right down there where I'm pointing to in the description box because I like to talk about movies and I would love to talk about movies with you. I'll catch you next time.
What the hell? Jenkins? I can hear you talking. Where are you? Jenkins? Huh? Ow! Ow, what the hell was that, man?
Click subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest movie reviews. Skynet will be taking over any day now, so what have you got to lose? Nah.